Morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. We back at it, man. We back at it, man. Perfect time podcast with the blast, man. You know what I'm saying? Back at it like a crack at it, automatic like a formatic, built from tragedy, made for static. It's your boy, Perfect Time Podcast, back with the blast. 2025 won't last. We in and out with a dash. We're gonna do this real fast. Vertical live. Let's get it, let's get it, let's get it, let's go. Share the live. Let everybody know that we in this thing, man. Before people start coming in, let me share the live. Let me go ahead and create a post. Let everybody know that Perfect Timing is live. Reconnecting. It says you are live. You know what I'm saying? I do a post. I don't know. Every time you do a post, it kicks somebody out. Phone ring, it kicks somebody out. I didn't go nowhere. I'm still here. Power to my podcast with the blast on their ass in a dash real fast vertical live. We going up right now. We're gonna discuss the Donald Trump speech. I want to hear from y'all, man. Y'all let me know, man, how y'all feel about the Donald Trump speech last night. Was it last night? I think it was the night before last, but yesterday we talked about Western preference. If you want to see that video, it's up on my channel in the member section. You got to join the member section to see that video. Fire video. It's worth the subscription, man. It's worth the cost of admission, man. But again, man, vertical live, Perfect Time Podcast with the blast. We doing it real big, man. We want to go over 6 takeaways from Trump's address at the Congress the other day. I like that thumbnail. So I was watching with my wife, and she was like, "Did you see the when they took the sign away?" So it was very contentious. Like it hasn't been like this in America for a minute. Like it reminds me of the Parliament. It's very parliamentary, right? If you ever watched live or just recordings of the Parliament in the UK, I used to really be interested in that because I was in student government, and so I always had an affinity for politics, and I always liked the way the UK Parliament was set up and the way they would argue, and it would come to blows. Like even in recent times, even in recent times, the Parliament in the UK would come to like physicality, and we haven't seen that in the Congress. Now, you know, in the United States Congress and some conventions, they had shootings. We ain't gonna go into it right now, but they've had shootings at conventions. They've had arguments, fisticuffs during congressional, things like that. So it used to be very contentious in the Congress, and I think that's healthy. You know what I mean? I don't think it's something that we should be laughing. I think it's healthy that when our representatives feel that strongly and passionate about the people and the issues that they represent, that they're arguing. So, but I think a lot of times now what we notice is that the arguments are on behalf of people like corporations that don't benefit the people. But when the times you did have, high contention in the Congress, I think it worked out better for the American citizen and the American people. And the same thing if you look at the UK and the parliamentary structure over there and how they were able to do Brexit. So I want to hear from y'all, man. We got somebody in the chat named Ham, said hi. What's up, Ham? How you doing? So we're going to talk about 6 key takeaways from the Trump speech. I hope you like the thumbnail. A lot of people saw Democrats holding signs, but you couldn't see the signs that the Democrats held up. So a lot of times when we talk about this, we got to talk about Barack Obama, when the guy called Barack Obama a liar. But I don't believe Barack Obama dealt with anything like Trump dealt with last night. Extremely partisan, right? And those signs were highly disrespectful. I don't remember Barack Obama, and I don't remember Republicans holding up signs calling him a liar and all these different things. I didn't even know that was like prudent to do, because you're supposed to have a certain decorum as a representative of the people within Congress. And the Democrats, I mean, Obama got this thing, when they go low, we go high. No, Obama, man, the Democrats is not following your teaching. When you go, they going lower. They are super low frequency. They acted extremely childish. This is not me saying that I agree with Democratic talking points or I agree with Republican talking points. But I am an adult American. I am a little bit older than a lot of people. So I can look at this from a different level and say, look, that was extremely unprofessional. You know what I'm saying? That was extremely unbecoming of a representative of the people. Despite that's not the way you disagree. I mean, we have so many things going on in the globe right now with the Ukraine, with Russia, with all these different conflicts, and this is the stage. This is how we want to act. We want to get up here and have these signs like kids and protest. Just speak. You're a representative. You've been given a bully pulpit. You've been given a microphone. You have an elevated position to speak. If you disagree with Trump, then you speak. Let's see what somebody message got held for review. Did you look in the mirror before you bought those glasses every morning? That's not funny. And yes, I did. I like these glasses. And actually, I got a lot of comments on these glasses. And roll up, Zigzag. Why are you playing, man? Roll up, Zigzag. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. What I would like to say is, let's get into it though. So, it's a lot of people that feel a certain way on both sides, man. So, I love it, man. Leave a comment, man. Get in the comment section. Say whatever you want to say. Do like Zigzag. Roast the glasses, man. Roast the shirt, man. Roast the jewelry, man. We could do all of that, man. We could do all of that, man. I love it, man. I love it, man. Yeah, share it, man. I like these, though. These the ones with the 3 dot, though. You see the 3 dot? Yeah, man. I picked these up recently, man. And I'm liking them a lot, man. I really do. This is my color. You know, I go through things like I'm a Leo, so yeah, this the color right now. I got some shoes, this color. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple jackets, this color, this that green, man. And I like the way it look on my complexion. You know what I'm saying? It's complected. You know what I'm saying? It's collected, selected, and collected. You know what I mean? So yeah, like this it's like an olive. You know, I'm a fan of forest green because I grew up in the '90s with that Lexus LS 400, man. That forest green. When that forest green Lexus hit the block, man, it was something special, man. But I love that forest green. But this ain't forest green. This that olive, man. This that Napa Valley. You know what I'm saying? Sicilian, beautiful. And that weather is coming all this morning. I was out this morning. The leaves, you know, springtime. So, you know, I'm a gardener. Hey, that's what we're going to do. In the next couple lives, we got to get into the garden. Right now it's March. And, you know, 420. And I'm in Northern California. We got the good weed. But 420 is more than just about marijuana. 420 is when you start planting. And really, a lot of times you want to be in the ground by April 20th. The thing is, though, this year, I was just telling my wife, the groundhog stayed in. So the kids is coughing. We had 6 more weeks of winter. So it's colder. It's still rain. So we still got winter. So the ground is not ready. But I got my seeds. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start germinating my seeds. I already know I got to go get some dirt. I usually wait till the dirt go on sale, but you don't want to wait too long because, like I said, you want to be in the ground by 420 so you can have you a good harvest. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, harvest time in Northern California is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? We got farmers markets. You know what I'm saying? We got the low prices during harvest. But all that work starts now. You know, I was talking to my wife as we talk about politics and we talk about Trump. Last night, I was talking to my wife about that story when we were children about baking the bread. And how somebody would ask you, somebody could watch you bake bread and not help, and then have the nerve and audacity to ask you for a slice of bread. This is extremely relevant when we talk about Doge, when we talk about Trump, and the way we were born and raised in the 70s and 80s. You know what I'm saying? So when people get mad at Trump and the Republicans and Doge, I would just like to share with you that story of the hen who baked the bread, and how a lot of people who bake bread are looking at individuals who just sit around and watch everybody else produce. You watch everybody else produce the bread, and it's almost like you consider that a job. That's what they tried to pull off during the last 4 years with the Green New Deal. They tried to change being single moms and stay-at-home moms into a darn job, basically saying that you can sit and watch other women bake bread and feed their family, and when they done baking the bread, you can ask them for a slice despite the fact you got an oven and your arms and legs ain't broken. Think about the audacity of some of these liberal ideologies. It's telling American citizens with the ability to produce, you don't have to produce. It's okay for you to watch other Americans bake bread, and it's your right, and you are entitled to then ask them for a slice of their bread that they baked for their family. Think about that. I'm telling you about a garden. Imagine me cultivating seed, growing weed, milling the wheat, like in the story as a child, and then preparing the flour, going to my garden, getting eggs from my hens, and then preparing bread for my family. And then my neighbor, my equal, this is not someone who is not my equal, watches me go through this entire process. Everyone's mad at Doge. Everyone's mad at Elon. Everyone's mad at Trump. And I believe because you missed these teachings from the 70s and the 80s, that you do not have a right to ask the mother hen for bread when you watched her bake the bread. You know what she said in the story? When I planted the seed, you didn't help me cultivate the garden. Oh, we're going to go into it this morning. We're going to have a talk about it this morning. She said, when I planted the seed, you could have dug up the dirt. Now, when I watered, the garden needed to be watered. You didn't come, you watched it grow, but you didn't want to help me water the garden. When it was time to harvest the wheat to make the bread, you saw me in the sun, toiling in the dirt. It goes back to the Bible. You saw me in the dirt, toiling, and you didn't help me harvest. You didn't help me hard, but you were there. You had ability. You were not disabled. Now think about some of the things you heard that Doge say. You were not disabled. You had the ability to help me harvest the wheat. You chose not to. You smelled and saw me put together the dough. You didn't want to come in and help me cook. You saw me bake the bread. And when the bread was done baking and cooling on the windowsill, what happened in the story as a child? The same neighbor, the same citizen, the same American walked up to Donald Trump, walked up to Elon Musk and said, hey, you have more money than me. I have an ability to make money, but that don't matter. You have baked bread. I've watched you bake the bread. I watched you call it. I don't care about any of that. Give me some of your bread. Give me a slice of your bread. And the Democrats have been slicing up the bread, giving out free bread for everybody, free bread. What happened? And so in 2025, no one knows how to bake bread anymore. See, there's a lot to this story. There's a lot to the story. So you might say, okay, but everybody got to eat. I'm not going to disagree. I'm not evil. Everybody got to eat. But what happens to the knowledge? What happens to the knowledge and understanding that someone must cultivate seed? At the end of the day, where everybody's going to be butthurt about budget cuts, the point is, at the end of the day, someone has to cultivate seed, and we are losing the knowledge and ability to cultivate seed, and then bread will become scarce. And only the individuals with that unique knowledge will have bread, and they will become resentful, and they will not want to share the bread with individuals who chose to stay ignorant. See, ignorance is a thing. Ignorance is different than being stupid or dumb. Ignorance is saying that you have the ability to cultivate and learn how to produce bread for you and yourn. But instead, you got like the book I love, Who Moved My Cheese? You got used to people giving you bread. Now the bread may have been old, moldy bread, but it was free. You didn't have to bake it. So you got used to receiving that bread. And guess what? You lost the knowledge. You have been given bread so long that you don't even know how to bake bread and cultivate seed anymore. You have put yourself in the position to be powerless to those who have the knowledge of cultivating. Now, this cultivating term should not be limited to this one area of this conversation. You must understand the people with the knowledge of social media, the people with the knowledge of Web3, the people with the knowledge of crypto. That is where you need to be. And if you are missing this Web3 crypto, quantum computing, you will lack the knowledge of how to cultivate seed and bake bread, and you will be relegated to a position where you will have to beg and accept the scraps. Oh, you thought I was just talking about wheat. You thought I was just talking about a story from when we were children. No, it's a story that helps you apply it to modern day. Because the world is moving forward in crypto, in Web3, in smart cities. They want to scare you about smart cities. They want to scare you about but you should be scared about the not knowing. You should be scared about being ignorant about these things that are here and going faster than the speed of light. Because by the time you understand that is necessary for you to have knowledge, it'll be too late. It's too late to buy Bitcoin. You understand what I'm saying? It's too late to buy Bitcoin. If you don't know what Web3 is, in 5 seconds it's going to be too late. If you're not familiar with quantum computing, if you don't download DeepSeek, if you don't download ChatGPT, if you're not understanding how to use AI, even in college, even in business, you are behind the 8 ball. Everyone is using AI. In my YouTube channel, I am using AI. I'm using ChatGPT. I'm using DeepSeek. And if I'm not, I'm losing. I'm asking. I'm begging. Will you give me bread, YouTube? YouTube, you have all the bread. YouTube, can I have a slice of bread? Instead of cultivating seed, using AI, using the think engines. Zigzag, I love you, Zigzag. What's going on? Zigzag said, my Second Amendment right to make sure nobody takes my bread. Hey, Zigzag, did you see this? As I did my research for today's show, I saw there's a new law being proposed in California. Now, we don't have stand your ground. And we already knew, remember when LL Cool J house got broken into? In California, you have to retreat. Well, they want to expand the retreat law in California. They want, I don't know what's going on in California, but this is why ignorance is so powerful. You have to understand politics. And not just the president in this congressional speech, but local politics, because you may find yourself in a situation in California where we have this poverty and people are running in the malls. Every Walgreens is closed. So think about this, Zigzag. Every Walgreens is closed. Macy's, JC, every department. If the criminals who don't have access to wealth don't have any more stores to rob, the government is saying, hey, it's okay for you to rob someone's house and they can't hurt you. Just like when you went into Macy's, they're not going to arrest you. California is trying to expand the law to say, so this is what I see. Tell me if I'm wrong, Zigzag. Maybe I'm crazy with my logic. Just a crazy person. But if there's no more Macy's to rob and there's only nice houses to rob, I don't know, those criminals might rob those nice houses. What do you think, Zigzag? And then California has said, oh, you can't defend yourself. California just put a law saying you have to leave the house. Holy moly. I paid for the house. I paid taxes when I went to work. I paid taxes. I paid property taxes. I paid taxes on the goddamn couch. I paid taxes on my bills in the house. And if somebody breaks into my house, California said you got to leave the house. And you allow them to put Macy's out of business, Walgreens out of business. There's no one else to rob but me and my house. And Zigzag just said my Second Amendment right to protect my ability to bake bread. Well, guess what, Zigzag? Huh? No, they want to take that too. Yeah, you have to leave your house. Macy's can't stop you from stealing in California. And when they close all the box stores and there's no one else to rob, they coming to your door, Zigzag. And California said if you defend yourself with your Second Amendment right, you going to jail, Zigzag. How about that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Look it up right now on Google. I'm not making it up. And it's a Democratic state. It's a blue state. Gavin Newsom got a podcast, Zigzag. Everybody want a joke. Internet is a place for people to have jokes, right? It's not a joke. Gavin Newsom has a podcast. The governor of California has a podcast. Hello. This is not a joke. Everything is not a joke. The governor of California, what? The governor of the 5th largest economy in the globe? What the hell you doing on a podcast? And we have unemployment, homelessness, the worst education in the country, and the governor has a podcast. Zigzag said, that's why I live in a state where I can stand my ground and defend myself and my family and my property, North Dakota. Very different than California. I bet when Zigzag heard that, he probably was very surprised that that is legal and possible in America. But in California, yes, you can go into a store and steal up to $1,000 and walk right out. So these stores are going out of business and they're closing. I'm watching. No more Walgreens. What about my grandmother? If you live in one of these low-income communities, you have Medicaid. They want to take away Medicaid. What are the repercussions? There's nowhere for grandma to get medicine. She was already on public transportation, or she walked to the local Walgreens. The local Walgreens is gone now. How far now does she have to go for her medicine? How far now does she have to go for her healthy food? So let's see what top 6 takeaways from Trump. Trump boasted about what he's done so far, and the most controversial things. So y'all know Al Green. Al Green stood up and talked about you don't have a mandate to get rid of Medicaid, and he was ushered out. People are saying it's a very partisan speech. There were it's kind of hard to find like the real takeaways because everything is so partisan online. I want to hear from you guys. I got Zigzag in the comments. Y'all let me know, what did you take away from the speech? One of the things I understood is that when as I know politics, typically we always discuss these things after the first 100 days. I really noticed how invigorated Trump was compared to the previous administration and the previous president. We could discuss and argue whether or not you're a fan, right? But what I did notice is that Trump was extremely energetic, excited, invigorated. He loves being president. I know a lot of you might not like that, but I like the person who's in the job that like doing the job. Biden seemed tired. He seemed like he didn't want to be there anymore. I mean, it's kind of hard when it's like, okay, imagine think about when you go out to eat. And what is the crux of good customer service when you go into a restaurant? You know what it really is? It's someone that enjoys their job. Who I work here because not because I have to work here. I like working here. It's a quality establishment. I worked in other restaurants. This restaurant is a clean restaurant, good cook, good food. So when I walk into the restaurant and the server and the waitress greets me in a way, I feel a certain way because we're energy, we're humans. I feel the fact that this person enjoys working here. One of the things, whether I agree with Trump or not, when I looked at that speech, I could tell that this is going to be a good night. This man enjoys being president. He enjoys working here. That is good customer service. Do you understand the president works for you? I want my president to enjoy working here. When I go into Chili's, I know I'm going to have a good experience. If I got a waiter or a server who knows and loves this job, and they are not working at that point. They are just doing, hey, don't order that, order this, order it this way. Have you tried this? Put this in this. Why are you doing all of this for me? I love it. I want you to have this food is great. I work here because the food is great. I want you to have it. I'm not here because I don't want to be here. This is what I get from Trump. When I saw his smile, his admiration, he wants to be here. He wants to be president. And another thing about that, whether you disagree with him, he wants to do a good job. When that person at Chili's and they give you that vibe, it's not only that they like their job, they want to do well. It's part of the good customer service. I want to serve you. The president is a servant. And he looked like he is excited about serving you. Woo! When the last time we had that, y'all? On the left or the right, this man is happy about being president and happy about being in service. It's like going to church and having a good pastor. A pastor that understands it's not about me, it's not about my car, it's about my service to my parishioners. I have a responsibility to my parishioners. Pastor, why are you always happy and dancing and singing in the pulpit? He wants to be there. He loves being a pastor. He loves leading and parishioning his followers. I saw that in Trump, a 70-year-old father, grandfather, billionaire. He wants to be there. He wants to be the father. He wants to be the grandfather. He wants to be the president. But not only that, he cares about the quality and level of work that he does. Everybody all scared about the decisions. What you need to know is that Trump cares about legacy. He cares about the country. He cares about what people say after he leaves. He wants to do a good job. If we disagree with him, then there is proper mechanisms that was designed by the forefathers of how you do so in the Congress, in the Senate, or in your local district. If you want to run people counter to the Republicans, then you create politicians, you create new platforms, you create new ideas. And you say, we disagree with you, Mr. President. We love you. We respect you. But I disagree with you. So I created this platform. I have a politician who's going to run and he's going to push that platform. And there are people who believe in it. And you know what? Donald Trump would say, that's America. You don't get up and whine. You don't put up a sign. You don't ask for bread after it's already baked. I disagree with you. Okay. So create a consensus. Create a consensus. Create policy in your local area. I just explained to Zigzag, locally in California, they're trying to change the law where you can no longer defend yourself in your own domicile, counter to the Second Amendment that Zigzag just brought up. So what do we do if we disagree with that law? Do I make a sign? Do I get on YouTube and whine and cry? Or do I call my local assemblyman? Do I create a meeting at my local church? And do I look for consensus? We must understand politics. Or do I hold up a sign? When the president is speaking, do I yell out and be disrespectful. Obama said, when they go low, we go high. I need everybody watching right now, go blitz Obama, because the Democrats went lower yesterday. They did not follow Obama's teaching, and I want to hear from somebody in the chat who disagree with me. When they go low, we go high. What happened in Trump's speech? The Democrats acted like children. Low frequency. When they went low, you went lower. And anybody with any intelligence saw that. There's a reason why Obama said, when they go low, we go high. Because Obama understood the ramifications in the aftermath of your actions. There's going to be, you're supposed to take over in the midterms. The Democrats are going to get swept in the midterms if you keep acting like children. When they go low, you're supposed to go high. Instead, you go lower. All you doing is sinking your ship. Who sank my battleship? You're supposed to be, this is why Gavin Newsom has a podcast. Gavin Newsom has a podcast because he understands that not only did the Democrats get whooped in this last election, but the Democrats about to get whooped again in the midterm because of how they are acting. You can't blame Trump. Gavin Newsom is on his podcast with Charlie Kirk saying we have to stop blaming Trump. We are losing because all we are doing is waiting for the bread to be baked. So Gavin Newsom said, I'm not going to wait for the bread to be baked. I'm going to do what Charlie Kirk is doing. I'm going to do what Tim Dillon is doing. I'm going to do what Joe Rogan is doing. Because why? Joe Rogan, Tim Dillon, Charlie Kirk changed the election. Podcasters change the election. Kai Cenat can change whether or not you're a successful music. If your music sells, these streamers can change that. Well, Gavin Newsom recognized that these podcasters changed the election. And what Gavin Newsom recognizes that we need voices like Rogan. We need voices like Charlie Kirk. We need voices like Tim Dillon. And what Gavin Newsom recognizes, they are non-existent. They are non-existent. So, in lieu of there not being any Democrat voices that are compelling, it's not that they are not Democrat but they're not compelling. They're weak sauce. They're mild sauce. Gavin Newsom admits it that Charlie Kirk is converting Democrats to Republicans every day. Every day. Tim Dillon, Joe Rogan, they're converting people every day. And Gavin Newsom said, where's the Democrat doing that? Where are the Democrats who like being Democrats, who are working? You understand the philosophies I've shared with you this morning. Gavin Newsom has started a podcast because he doesn't see Democrats doing what Charlie Kirk is doing. You're bitching and moaning. So Gavin Newsom had to frontline it himself, because he sees Charlie Kirk doing the work. And this is what he said. If Democrats sit on the side and wait while Charlie Kirk, Tim Dillon, Joe Rogan, and these talking heads continue to bake bread, when the midterms come around, this is the thing why Gavin Newsom started a podcast, is like what I said earlier. The Democrats have lost the knowledge of how to even cultivate consensus. If you're not online in a podcast, you're going to get your ass whooped. This is the thing, Democrats, for the midterms, which you got 2 years, right? Where are you going to go? CNN is not relevant. MSNBC, Trump just took it out. If you're a Democrat politician, where is your voice? Where can you go, like Trump with the Joe Rogan, J.D. Vance with the Tim Dillon, Charlie Kirk? When these Republicans in the midterms, they have a bully pulpit. All of them are going to go with a Joe Rogan. All of them are going to. Tim Dillon just had Steve Bannon. It was viral. Steve Bannon said Obama allowed the banks to wipe out all of the wealth from the Mexicans and the blacks. Where will you go when you run, Democrats? This is why Gavin Newsom created a podcast, because Gavin Newsom understands. Remember what I said, if you don't have the knowledge of Web3, if you don't have the knowledge of crypto, you are already, this is why Gavin Newsom started a podcast, because the Democrats don't even have a platform. They don't even have a springboard. When the Republicans have what almost is like a light rail, the Republicans have a fucking speed train to victory. We got how many Spotify subscribers do Rogan got? Charlie Kirk. I'm being honest. There's a reason why Gavin Newsom started a podcast. And everybody wants you to be distracted. The Democrats are going to be leading from behind. When the midterms come, everybody on that side, you already know where you're going. You could be calling Tim Dillon right now. I'm going to go I don't even have to wait till the midterms. I'm going to get out in front of it. I have all these places where I can go speak and get my message out. Where can the Democrats go? The Democrats can go whine to local news. You'll see your Democrats on local news whining, but nowhere to get their voice out. And to get this is almost perverted. They've allowed this because there's so many baby boomers. Nancy Pelosi, what's the other one? Maxine Waters. They 80 years old. They don't understand social media. They don't understand crypto and Web3, or they would be online. They would have gone to Joe Rogan. They don't get it. They're baby boomers. They were born in the 1950s. That's what's wrong with the Democratic Party. You need younger blood. Barron Trump is the one who told his dad, go to Joe Rogan. It changed the election. It gave Trump a mandate. His son said, go to these podcasts. Now, Gavin Newsom has a podcast. The world has changed. Where can Maxine Waters go that has the draw of a Joe Rogan or a Tim Dillon? There's nowhere that Maxine Waters or what's the other one? I just said her name. The white lady, the leader. Where can they go that has the draw? Can you believe that the leader of the Democrats had never been on Joe Rogan? What's her name? I just said her name. Nancy Pelosi. Can you believe Nancy Pelosi has never been on Joe Rogan? Do you think that would have helped Kamala? Kamala has never been on Joe Rogan, and Nancy Pelosi has never been on Joe Rogan. In 2025 in American politics, it doesn't. So whenever you hear the Democrats whine, just say that to them. Just say, the Democratic leadership has never been on Joe Rogan. Do you understand that Joe Rogan is the new Morning Scarborough? If you consider yourself a Democratic leader and thought leader in this country, and you haven't gone on Joe Rogan, you're living in the past. You're losing. You're not going to win. Somebody argue with me. Disagree with me. Disagree with me in the fact that, isn't it odd that your Democratic leadership hasn't been on these platforms? Trump already won. They know the power of the Joe Rogan platform. They know the power of podcast, which is why Gavin Newsom created a podcast. But yet and still, none of them have appeared on these podcasts. I would not be sitting back waiting for the bread to be baked. Hey, Joe, I need to be on the podcast. Joe Rogan would say, come on down. Nancy Pelosi, you think Joe Rogan not going to interview Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters? It don't even matter. What's that? Aaron also said, I want to disagree, but I can't, so keep spitting. It's not even about whether or not you agree with Nancy Pelosi versus Trump. This is just intelligent people looking at competitiveness. There's a competition. Democrats want to win. Do you understand the playing field? I haven't even spoke to whether or not I agree with Democratic ideology versus Republican ideology. I'm coming at it from a man who loves sports and competition. And I'm saying the Democrats are not even being competitive. Gavin Newsom, who is the Democratic governor of California, is saying Democrats are not even being competitive. So much so that he had to create his own fucking platform. Because where else he had to go to LeBron James? When Gavin Newsom talked about, Gavin Newsom is the one who frontline the NIH, the NIL. Gavin Newsom frontline the reparations in California. But in order to get that message out, think about this, you guys. Gavin Newsom did great things for the people of color and for Americans, for college students, majority people of color. But he had nowhere to go share that message. He had to go to LeBron James, the shop, because that was the only place a Democrat could go to share these great things that he did. Why is that? I am not just, it's not conjecture. Think about NIL, think about what Gavin Newsom, all the great things Gavin Newsom has done and what they led to nationally for people of color. He had nowhere to go. He had to go to The View and let them biddies be contentious, where he couldn't even get out of his platform, and he had to go to LeBron James. LeBron James is the only one who gave him a bully pulpit. Think about what I'm saying when I say Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, your Democratic leadership, Gavin Newsom, where can they go to get their message out that has the same draw in 2025 as a Joe Rogan podcast? Nowhere. As a Charlie Kirk. Do you understand that Don Bonajingo, he's on Rumble. He's not even on YouTube. Do you know how powerful social media? He's now the head of the FBI from a podcast. He's the head of the FBI from a podcast. You guys are asleep. Why are you on YouTube? Oh, hey, why are you doing YouTube? Gavin Newsom has a podcast on YouTube. That's why. I'm not going to sit by and let the bread be baked. I'm baking bread. What I'm doing is cultivating seed. What y'all talking about, man? I just want to say thank y'all, man. This has been a fire show, man. So Trump, great job, bro. I just want to say it looks like, as I grew up, it hasn't even been the first 100 days. Typically, we wait to have this conversation about a new incoming president until the first 100 days. Trump said in the first 43 days, he's had a more effective presidency than the last 3 presidents. Somebody disagree. Whether or not you like what he's done, the ideology, he's going to work every day. He's not on the golf course. He's not on vacation. Every day, they're in the office going to work. So when Trump says, I want my federal employees back in the office, but then he sets an example. See, that's what a father does and understands. A father would never ask you to do something that he's not willing to do himself. So Trump, as the nation's father, said, I want you in the office. But what has Trump exhibited to everybody who's mad at Trump? Has anybody ever said that, hey, the president has been in the office every day? And not only has the president been in the office every day, he's been kicking butt. He's been doing a lot of work. So you have to respect a man, a leader who is asking you to do something that he's going to do also, because he has work and an agenda and he has a vision for the country. So I'm going to be in the office. I need you in the office if you're going to work for me. Bottom line, no one ever said that. Why nobody ever brought that up? Oh, Trump is so mean. Why didn't anybody bring up that it's only been 43 days? We usually judge a president after 100 days, and that Trump has been in the office every single day working. Work. So this is America. All I've been doing is sharing with you how I was raised in the 70s and the 80s. If your boss or if your dad asks you to do something and that leader is willing to do it also you have a great leader that loves you, and you maybe had childhood trauma and you don't understand how to discern love. But when someone asks you to do something and they willing to do it themselves, that says a lot about how much they care about your success. Hey, I'm gonna be in the office. I need you to be in the office. Why I need to be in the office? And then one day you realize, hey, this guy who made me come back in the office, he's here when I get here. He's here when I leave. So, wow, I never thought about the fact that he might need me in the office because he's been putting in 16-hour days. And he could be more effective with me in the office than me being at home. More can get done. I work for the federal government, i.e., I work for the American people. His goal is to do better for the American people. He said he need me in the office, but he not just said he need me in the office. He gonna be in the office 16 hours every day. Why are we complaining? Are you not an American? Why are you complaining when your boss say come in the office if he gonna be in the office? Mr. Perfect Thomas said Trump didn't waste any time. Salute to you. And then, okay, Omar Miller said that has nothing to do with remote work. Okay, Omar, break it down, Omar. Break it down, Omar. Put yourself in a position of leadership. Now, you've been running your company and you've created a platform where you can run your company and your employees can work remotely, right? I have a RAS token. I have a VPN. I know how to remote into terminals. I work in IT at Kaiser for over 15 years. Kaiser gave me a laptop, gave me a cell phone. Anywhere I am, if a doctor or chief would call me and they had issues using the new computerized EMR, I could remote into their terminal and then not only over the phone instruct them, but if they needed to, I can take control of their mouse and then help them make the correct decision, right? So I'm very familiar with remote work. But now, Omar, you are the CEO. You are in a position where the company has gone through a downturn, just like sometimes at Kaiser or sometimes in different companies. And now you have an initiative, right? Because you have an obligation to your stockholders. You are going to be in also. So when you have remote employees, you also had a remote launch pad at your home. You could do everything from your home. It could have been like Swordfish where you had 8 screens. I have multiple screens here. Pretty fly, pretty fresh. I love working from home because I got multiple screens. I'm in my drawers. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But now the company is going through a downturn and a change, Omar. And you have an initiative because you have an obligation, like he has an obligation to the American people. You have an obligation to your shareholders. So now you're in the office to see out your plan. I want to see this plan through. So you tell your employees that you've designed and made successful work from home. I need you in the office. Now, as a CEO, you don't say to them, I need you in the office, blah, 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 because you pay their salary. What you do is you send out an email and you say, we are no longer running a work from home platform. I need you in the office. You will, and purposely you left out the details. Why? Because you want to know who was committed, because the company went through a downturn for a reason. Maybe you got too comfortable. Maybe everybody got too fat and too relaxed, right? So now, in order to put through this new plan, because I created Bigfoots, I'm a project manager, I need to have you in the office as we create this new launch pad for our. There's been Democrats for 4 years. I'm a Republican. I have a new way of moving. It's not going to be efficient for me to do so over the phone and over Zoom. We all know the limitations of phone. We all know the limitations of Zoom. I myself, when I remote into that doctor and I take over this is a very quick thing when I remote in and I make the decision. This is not retention. This is just an alley-oop. It's not retention. So I need to be, what I would always do is with a doctor who I had to remote in, I would follow up with a physical appointment where I would go over the workflow that I taught him over the phone so that he would retain it and I would not get that phone call again. Remember, the company is going through a downturn, right? So I want to change the performance, and to do that, I'm implementing something totally brand new. Everything you were doing remotely at home was a different platform. Democrat, liberal, green, the Green Project, stay-at-home moms made money, right? Totally different. Now Republican, cut Medicaid, cut Department of Education. These are drastic, huge, these are paradigm shifts. You can't be home. And I'm in the office also. I want to create a paradigm shift. So I need the individuals in the office to make these drastic changes. So tell me, Omar, how do you accomplish that remotely? And what Omar said the concept of remote work was popularized because of the pandemic. I know that, even though it was invented before that, which I worked remotely for 10 years before the pandemic. The point is that some work being done in the office could be done remotely. Correct, under an old paradigm, right? It also saves businesses money not having to use their own facilities. Correct, under an old paradigm, i.e. Democratic Party. Now we're in the Republican Party, and we are going through drastic changes. Drastic. They just said, again, Trump just doubled down on making Canada the 51st state. This is not something I don't feel comfortable, number one, discussing the Gulf of Mexico being changed to the Gulf of America. I don't feel comfortable discussing that over Zoom. Me and you both know the limitations of cell phones. You know what I'm saying? We got espionage. So I'm not discussing these things. Now, I'm in competition in business. Omar, if you're in competition in business, I don't want to discuss the new direction that the company is going, that I could lose my company over Zoom. Would you agree with that? I'm changing the direction. It has a lot to do with trust. It has a lot to do with focus. It can't be over Zoom. It has to be in-house. What we discuss in the meeting in this company doesn't leave. It can't be over the phone. It can't be over email. It can't be over Zoom, because I am in competition. I am in business. Think about what I'm saying, Omar. I'm going to close all the loopholes. I'm not going to have a conversation with you over Zoom. I don't know who's in the room. I'm not going to have a conversation with you over the phone. I don't know if you're recording. You need to be in the office working and performing solely for me, for my goals. It hasn't been that up until now. And I know it because I work remotely. You don't know who's in the room. You don't know what my agenda is. If I work remotely, I could be working for the competitor. It's unless I sign a non-compete. If I work remotely, I could be working for your competitor. You didn't make me sign a non-compete. Omar, do you know what a non-compete is? He says cybersecurity is an issue. Yes, I agree with that. So cybersecurity being an issue, think about that 19-year-old on the Doge team. The 19-year-old on the Doge team got in trouble for working. That's why that 19-year-old, if he works for me, has to be in the office. He can't get a RAS token. He can't get a VPN. He can't remote into the system. Every time he accesses the system, I need to see every keystroke. Because when he was 19 and he worked for that company, he worked remotely, he screwed the bag, he screwed the pooch. So I need to have you on a terminal, on a secure terminal, that everything you do, I know every single keystroke. Now, if you're at home, I can't do that. That's just what it is. So thank you, Omar, for having the conversation. I said the other day that I love when people get in the comments, man, because I'm not right. I need people to disagree so that we all are made better. I learned some things from Omar. My hope and prayer is that Omar learns some things from me. And I hope that Omar one day is in a position of a CEO. And he understands even more, like, oh shit. Like Black Sam just opened Marathon Burger. Black Sam, my wife, me and her Mrs. Perfect Timing, we watched. Now, when we making our secret sauce, you just talked about cybersecurity. Omar, if me and you open up a burger spot, it don't even got to be like weapons or nuclear. It's just secret sauce. We open up a burger spot. No, Omar, we opening up a barbecue spot. And me and you going to come up with our own barbecue sauce. No one going to ever have it. Should we discuss this over the cell phone when we know about how these cell phones work, how smart TVs work? Should we discuss our secret sauce over Zoom? Or every time that we discuss the secret sauce and the recipe, it's only in the office, the recipe stays locked up, and we never discuss it outside of this room? There are no cell phones. There are nobody who's not invested in our success involved, and they don't know this recipe. Only me and you, and we never talk about, this is what I'm talking about. We opening up a barbecue pit, Omar. We creating our own barbecue sauce. Black Sam just opened up Marathon Burger. They created their own secret sauce. Think about the success of the business. And then we start talking about our secret sauce over the phone. And I don't know who listening. And I'm on the phone with Omar. Okay, Omar, it's going to be 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika. We're going to have some garlic salt. You writing it down, Omar? Omar, you writing it down? Ooh, white pepper. We can't have black pepper. We need white pepper. Are you writing it down, Omar? Who writing it down? Somebody who's not involved in the business is writing down our secret recipe. Why? Because we're doing it remotely. I thought it was a secret recipe. Why you guys did it over the phone? I don't know. It was easy. It's a secret recipe. Just like the government. Just like certain policies in the government, nuclear codes, whether or not we're going to attack, whether or not we're going to take Canada, whether or not we're going to take Greenland, whether or not we're going to call it the Gulf of Mexico, whether or not we're going to take back the Panama Canal. All of that shit might not and maybe never should have been remote. Maybe that's why we lose it. Maybe that talk never should have been remote. Maybe we never should have been talking about the Panama Canal over Zoom. Maybe we never should have been talking about green. Never, 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 never. I never changed. Oh man, I love that song. I never changed. I never changed. Jay-Z, I am a rock representative, summer through the winter. Never, 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 never. I never changed. Oh man, I would play it right now, but I don't want to get my live shut down, man. My tea is getting cold, man. We almost at an hour. So we're gonna shut it down in a minute. My name is Perfect Timing Podcast. The name of the channel is Perfect Timing Podcast. Everybody watching right now, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share. I would love for you guys to join the conversation, join the channel so you can join and watch my long form content. We've been doing a great conversation over there. If you guys would like to see more content like this, if you give me 100 likes, I'll create a video on Trump's speech. If we get 100 likes in the first day, I'll create a video on Trump's speech. So y'all let me know about that. Again, Perfect Timing Podcast. My name is Perfect. You see my partner in crime in the chat, Mrs. Perfect Timing, Omar Zigzag. Thank y'all for coming through. Omar said, yeah, I agree with your scenario. Some of that stuff isn't remote work though. LOL. Yeah, Omar, what about that 19-year-old? Everybody was surprised. Number one, they said, Elon, why did you hire that guy? And then when they learned about his history, people understood, even going back to, what's his name? Snowden. Omar, like when we found out, I laughed. You probably laughed too, because I have Raz token V. I do this, so it's not funny. Okay. Fuck Omar, you're gonna get me in trouble. I'm not supposed to cuss. I should be laughing. But bro, come on, bro. This 19-year-old, he had way too much access. Snowden was Snowden was what you're saying. Snowden is my perfect argument. If we were friends and we pre-gaming, bro, I would bring up Snowden. That would shut down everything, bro. You got to drink right now because he's the perfect answer to my argument. He was not even a real employee. He did not have any security clearances. He was super smart. He had way too much access remotely. like, hey, Omar, you said some of that stuff wasn't remote work? Yes, it was. Snowden was doing it. Oh, God. It shouldn't have been remote work. It shouldn't have been remote work. But Snowden was doing it remotely. If anybody want to know how that happened, it happened under the Omar presidency. It happened under the Omar presidency. Snowden is your fault. Ah, shit. Oh, shit. Well, hold on. What did Omar say? I love to debate on your ideas sometime. By the way, when I go live, man, you got to join the live stream. I'll put the link in the chat and you could join the live stream. I would like that also. Oh, he laughed at you singing LOL. It's Snowden is a special. That's a good friend. Oh, see, that's how you keep the party going. Pour some more drinks. He's not willing to concede. That's a good homie. He's not willing to concede. He said, fuck that. I'm not going to concede. Yeah, you got a good homie because that keep the argument. There's two intelligent people. I'm not going to concede my argument. No, fuck you. Snowden was a special case. Snowden was no special case. The scary part is we don't know how many Snowdens exist because they sent him away. We didn't get to hear what he had to say. How many Snowdens exist? That's the scary part. That's not the funny part. The funny part is people who are not like me and you, Omar, think there's only one Snowden. No, there's not only one. This is why Trump said everybody needs to come in the fucking office, bro. Coming on. Oh, shit. That's a good homie right there. He said Snowden was a special case. Okay. Snowden wasn't even an employee. No, he shouldn't have had those clearances at all. There's not just one Snowden. There's a lot of Snowdens, and that was the good. This is the part that America don't tell you because they don't want you to get scared. They don't want you to be scared. They want you to be stupid. But they don't work in IT like I work in IT. Omar, you must work in IT. Was there one Snowden? Ah, no, there was not one Snowden. Think about Snow, poor white guy. Some white guys, hey, I'm not racist. Like I'm, if you watch my channel, you'll find like I empathize with a lot of my white brothers. Like imagine Snowden. Like this is one of the white dudes. I love white. He took it all. Snowden took it all. Like when a white dude does something, like all white men are horrible. Like Snowden took it. Like he was the only one working remotely. He was the only one. This one white guy, this evil white man. It's so easy to make an evil white man. And everybody is okay. We all feel better. Why did we all feel better? Because we know about the narrative from Disney movies. They created a boogeyman, Snowden, the evil white man. Like it was only one motherfucker with this access. Like it was only one, the whole government being ran by one white dude. No, there were a lot of remote employees with the access that Snowden had. Whoever gave them that ability, who hired those tips, who was running that program, that person should have been on TV. But they didn't put that person on. The person who hired Snowden, empowered Snowden, who gave who Snowden his security clearance, that person should be thrown into the fire. That didn't happen. Well, instead, what we got one evil white man. And don't you love it, brothers? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, give us an evil white man. Give us an evil white man. We feel better, man. We feel better, man. All I need is an evil white man. Hey, serve him up. Serve him up. And everybody ignored it. Obama should have caught the flag. The leaders should have got the flag. Snowden shouldn't be fucking hiding in Russia. Obama, the leaders, the people who empowered him, the people who allowed Omar's philosophy. Omar should be under the goddamn tree. Throw Omar under the bus, man. That's who should be in trouble. Snowden should have got to come home. Snowden had to run. And where does Snowden get the money and power and influence as an attempt to go to Russia and China and all these places? I don't even got a passport. This motherfucker was gone. How come nobody arrested Snowden? Okay, all right. Evil, magical white man. Give me an evil, magical white man. That's what I need. I need me an evil, magical white man. That'll make me feel a lot better about this fucked up country. Well, you say I can agree with restricted remote work for security sensitive jobs, but this administration is trying to end all remote work. That's a stated goal there. So yeah, I agree. Snowden is a hero for exposing our government and spying on us. I agree. And I love that Trump was going to pardon Snowden, and Snowden should get to come home to his family. And everybody said, well, why are you going to pardon Snowden? Because it wasn't fair to make Snowden a scapegoat and turn him into the evil white man. Snowden wasn't the problem. Snowden didn't give himself these security clearances and this bullshit and create the job and all this stuff. Snowden should got to come home. He's an American. He was saying, hey, I love my country. So because of that, Obama and them, that was not right. And then created an evil white man to go along with the day, to go along with the narrative of the day that white people are evil and white people hate America. That was bullshit. Yeah, pardon Snowden. Let him come home. He's an American. He was doing what he did, like I said about Trump, because he loved America. And if there was a problem, like I said to Omar, with his access, the people who gave him that access should have got roasted on the coals. Nowhere in hell an American citizen should have got treated like Snowden. Not only did he couldn't come home, he was made into an enemy. Imagine people with his last name. That's the Democrats. That's some cold shit. Miss Perfect Time said, I think it's only government remote work. He was CIA. Snowden is a hero. Man, that was funny. Thank you, Omar. Man, when y'all comment, it makes it more entertaining. Because Omar was, I feel you, bro. I wouldn't want to work from home either. Omar was going in, boys, like work from home. I said, bro, if we was in the kitchen pre-gaming, I would have got you with Snowden. Because Snowden, he was low level with all that clearance. He was the epitome of your scenario. So that would be, but Omar came back real quick. He said that's a special. Ooh, I like that because black people, that's when you have friends and y'all all like mixed. Like if you went to high school in America, all my friends at IT is all different races. So it's like, that's one thing you get picked on about. Like, oh, no, that was a special case. Oh, okay. It was special, Dennis. It was special. Yeah, that happened, but that don't count. Omar said, yeah, Snowden was special. What was special about Snowden? He was a nobody. He was a temp. He was a nothing. Snowden was a nothing burger. He was not a special case. He was a nothing burger. That was the whole thing about Snowden. Everybody was like, how is it not? Same thing with the 19-year-old that Elon Musk hired, who did all that foul shit remotely. It has something to do with working remotely. I'm sorry, it does. We're working remotely. I work remotely. I'm telling you, it does. Where we at? We over an hour, you guys. Gotta clip this up. So check this out. We're gonna be doing this every morning. If y'all enjoyed yourself, man, it's not just the Democrats. No, it's not just the Democrats. Not at all. That's why a lot of people like Trump, because Trump is not like a true Republican. Trump is an outsider. The Republicans don't like him. The generals, that's why, think about, and if you didn't really think that, look at who he picked for his cabinet. He didn't pick no insiders. Trump didn't pick no Republicans or Democrats. He picked Trumpsonians. Everybody in his cabinet is a Trumpsonian. Robert Kennedy is not Robert ran as a Democrat. Think about who he picked. Robert ran as a Democrat. He don't even care. This is the realest thing about Trump. Trump don't even care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. All he care about is if you down. And if you ain't down, you the fuck out of here. Trump didn't care. Robert Kennedy, he picked Trumpsonians. Straight up. That's why I don't understand why people could get mad at me or mad at other people like, oh, you a Republican. Trump ain't a Republican. Trump ain't a Democrat. Trump a billionaire. He picked Trumpsonians. What is Elon Musk? Honestly, what is Elon Musk? Elon Musk doesn't, it's like billionaires don't have to be Democrat or Republican. It's like the governor of New York. I could be a Republican, I could be a Democrat, I'm a billionaire. I could be whatever the fuck I want to be. He didn't pick all Republican cabinet. He picked Trumpsonians. That's what he picked. It's not about Democrats and Republicans right now. Nah. And he said, and his entire cabinet is compromised. Billionaires are worse than politicians. I feel like we got too many billionaires. Did you see Steve Bannon? To my point about how Democrats are not cultivating. Did you see Steve Bannon on Tim Dillon? And Steve Bannon agrees with you. And Steve Bannon has Trump's ear. Steve Bannon agrees. The billionaires ain't shit. The billionaires need to go, and we need to break up Facebook, break up Google. I remember when Pac Bell got broken up. My stepmom worked for AT&T. I'm from San Francisco Bay Area. There's a lot of affluent blacks because of AT&T, Pac Bell, and Verizon. You a lot of black women in the South, millionaires working for Verizon. Yeah, there are a lot of, because Verizon went to Atlanta, Texas. But I remember it was in Oakland and it broke up and it was Pac Bell and AT&T and Verizon. Steve Bannon. They will put Steve Bannon in jail for a year. Remember that? Man, this country, we don't even talk about this shit. But Steve Bannon agrees with you, bro. I agree with you about the billionaires. I agree with you about the oligarchies and the monopolies. And we've done it before. And I know some of the kids are young and they don't they don't understand, but how powerful the telecom companies were, but the telecom companies were just as powerful as social media. And older baby boomers have been saying it from the beginning. Hey, we need to watch these guys. It's the same. Hey, we need to watch these guys. It's the same. And all the young people like you, Omar, not against you, but the people who say, oh, remote is cool. Oh, no, Google is cool. The baby boomers have been saying it. Hey, we need to watch these guys. It's the same thing as Pac Bell. And when we broke up those companies, we need to watch the power and influence and money because it will change politics. And they did. Steve Bannon said Facebook came to Obama, and we've been living in the Facebook world ever since Obama. Facebook came to Obama and gave Obama what we all know. Obama won because of his internet savvy. His team had the internet figured out. Well, guess what? It wasn't his team. It was it was Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg, remember, Facebook was not doing well. So Zuckerberg linked with them in 2008 for Obama. And then think about Gavin Newsom on the podcast. And think about Zuckerberg telling Obama, you're going to win because I can prioritize you. It was all about the internet. Think about Trump going to Joe Rogan. The Democrats still haven't caught up, bro. So yeah, man, subscribe to the channel. If I get 100 likes, we'll do a Trump video. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Salute to everybody. My name is Perfect. Shout out to Mrs. Perfect Time and shout out to Omar. Who else? Zigzag. Shout out to Omar. Hammed. Zigzag. Thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you tomorrow around 10 a.m. Top of the mid-morning vertical podcast. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for engaging. Omar, Ham, Mrs. Perfect Timing. Your engagement made this so entertaining, not only for the people watching, but for me. I hope for you. I hope people learned. And I'll see you guys tomorrow around 10 a.m. Top of the mid-morning podcast. I don't see no donations. Did you guys know you could donate to the channel now? A lot of people might not know that I got monetized and you have an ability to donate and support. But I'm also on Instagram. So Omar said he would like to debate. Anybody who watches this, you can go to Instagram if you have any ideas. Shout out to Mark Woke TV. He hit me on my DM and we're going to get together and do some things. Shout out to Big Daddy Beer Gaming, BDBG, a gamer on YouTube and a YouTuber that I collab with. And my brother hit me on the DM. Y'all check him out. And so if you guys want to collab, check me out, Perfect Timing Podcast on Instagram. If you have any ideas for discussion topics, Perfect Timing Podcast on Instagram. Hit me up in the DM. I'm very open to criticism or just collaboration. Salute.